Yo, what is guys? It's me, Zachary. Thank you for joining me back on the quest 200k hashtag a million in a year. You guys already know that you are the real MVPs, and you guys already know that we don't like to waste any time around here. So let's just get into everything that went down in the NBA yesterday. Let's go. So I woke up this morning to see some news that we all expected to see at some point. The hashtag free Kemba movement has officially worked. Well, it's in the process of working, as the Charlotte Hornets just announced that Kemba Walker is now up for trade. They are taking offers on Kemba Walker. So he joins the list of pretty much every other player on their roster who is already up for trade. And like I said, this is news that we all saw coming, yet it's great news. Because with the way the Hornets are, the only way they're ever going to compete for a championship is by getting a franchise-changing player through the NBA draft. They're not going to sign anyone big in free agency because who's going to Charlotte? They don't have any assets to trade for anyone big, and they're not bad enough to land a top 5 pick in the draft so they can possibly draft that franchise-changing player, even though they could have had Donovan Mitchell in this NBA draft, but they picked Malik Monk. But that's another topic. So when you have all of those things going against you, the only thing to do is what they are doing right now, what the Atlanta Hawks did last year. When you're stuck in the middle of the pack, no way to get better, every season seems like the same, where you win 30 to 40 games. The only thing to do is blow it up. Just blow it completely up and start over. Breakups are tough, man. I know breakups are tough. And it's even worse when it comes to mutual breakups, where both sides agree that this thing just isn't going to work out. It's nothing personal, but we realize that we have to go our separate ways. And an article came out yesterday suggesting that that's what the Portland Trailblazers could go through this year. They could go through a breakup of their backcourt. Right now, we all know that the Portland Trail Blazers have one of the elite backcourts in the NBA with both Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum. That's not even a question. The thing is though, outside of both those guys, and I guess Jusuf Nurkic, who has been all right this year, maybe not as hyped as he was when they first traded for him last year, but he's still been a serviceable big man. Outside of those guys, the Blazers don't really have much else. They are not a complete team, and they don't have many moves they could make outside of possibly trading one of their backcourt players to help them get better. And that's why Mark Stein suggested yesterday that this could be the year that the Portland Trailblazers swallow that tough pill, swallow their pride, and trade CJ McCollum. This is the year the Portland will break up the potent backcourt of Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum. The Blazers don't want to trade either one, especially when they awoke Wednesday ranked 7th in the league in defensive efficiency, despite the annual external skepticism about this pair's defensive capabilities on that end of the floor. But the easiest path to balancing the roster is parting with one of their two guards, most likely McCollum, for a package headlined by a frontcourt player on their level. No one's suggesting it'll happen before the trade deadline, but Portland's latest so-so season threatens to be the thing that pushes the longtime Blaze owner Paul Allen in a new direction. So he suggested that the players are going to look for a dominant big man in exchange for CJ McCollum, and a package of CJ McCollum and Jusuf Nurkic could land them a nice quality big man to pair alongside Damian Lillard for sure, which would help them balance out the roster that they have now. It kind of reminds me of the situation the Golden State Warriors were in a few years ago when they had both Stephen Curry and Monte Ellis. They had to trade Monte Ellis because they realized that Stephen Curry and Monte Ellis were too similar players. They could coexist and both score, but at the end that's not going to win them a championship, so they traded Monte Ellis for a player that would have helped them eventually become the team they are today, even though Warriors fans at the time weren't the biggest fans of the move. So yes, I do think the Portland Trailblazers will do something similar maybe this year. The NBA All-Star starters and captains have been announced, and real quick, here they are. The captains, of course, are LeBron James and Stephen Curry. And then for starters from the East, you have DeMar DeRozan, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Joel Embiid, and Kyrie Irving. And starters from the West include Kevin Durant, DeMarcus Cousins, James Harden, and Anthony Davis. So those are the players that are going to start, but keep in mind, those are not the starting teams. The teams are still going to be selected through the draft, where the captains, LeBron James and Stephen Curry, take turns picking from those players, as well as the reserves who have not been named yet. And you already know that a big deal is going to be made out of whoever LeBron James decides to take with his first pick. If LeBron James picks James Harden first, it's going to be LeBron James to Houston confirmed. If LeBron James picks Giannis first, it's going going to be LeBron to Milwaukee confirmed. If LeBron James picks Kyrie first, then it's LeBron is a troll confirmed and Kyrie Irving is going to fake an injury or demand a trade. So we already know that's what's going to happen, and yesterday the media asked LeBron James what he plans to do with his first pick, and he said he's not going to tell us who he's going to pick, but he's making the pick in order to win the game.
Serious, or are you gonna have some fun with it?
No, I'm trying to win. I mean, this is the reason they did this format, to make it very competitive, and we want to go out there. The All-Star game hasn't been what it should be the last few years, and I'm gonna take it upon myself and obviously with the rest of the guys to, there you go, what's up, boy, and to go out there and play the game the right way and compete. Our fans deserve it.
So who are you taking first?
I'm not telling you.
Low key, if he really wants to win and get the first pick in the draft, he might end up taking Kevin Durant just because he knows that's who Stephen Curry would take with his first pick. But other than that, it was really good to hear that he plans to have the game be competitive this year. In the past, it was kind of pointless to watch the All-Star game. I was still watching because there was nothing else on, nothing else to watch, no other basketball being played, so of course I'm going to be watching the All-Star game. But I'm just saying, if I had a choice between watching two of the worst teams in the NBA play a regular game and watching the All-Star game, I might be more inclined to watch those two bad teams play because at least they'd be out there trying to win, competing. So it is good to hear that won't be the case this year. As for Stephen Curry though, we all know that he's going to be taking his teammates first. If he gets the first pick, he's taking Kevin Durant, and then if both Draymond Green and Klay Thompson are picked as reserves, he's likely picking them too. Outside of his teammates though, he said that he'd like to take Giannis just so he doesn't get dunked on again.
One random guy beyond LeBron, beyond your teammates that you want to play with in this All-Star game?
I mean, I don't know who the reserves are going to be, so I got to pick from the starters. I mean, Giannis is probably, he dunked on me last year. So I want to maybe have to get him on my team so that don't happen again.
All that being said, I am actually looking forward to the All-Star game this year, and hopefully it is competitive. Lastly, Austin Rivers has had enough of all of the mockery. He went on ESPN yesterday and vented, just let it all out. He has been mocked for being the son of Doc Rivers for his entire career. No, people saying the only reason he's in the NBA is because he's the coach's son, and he is sick of it. People are like, well, his dad gave him his chance. Is that true or not? I don't know. It might be, but could it be that my pops knew how good I could be because he's my pops? I know what the narrative is on me. It's because I come from money and I have a swagger and a confidence about me. But if I didn't have this confidence or swagger in myself, I wouldn't be built to handle the negativity I've gotten. I would have already broken down years ago because I've gotten this since high school. I've turned it into a fuel and that's helped me. I go into each away arena and it's rough because of the stuff I hear. This chip on my shoulder, this swagger and confidence, it helps me. If I didn't have it, I wouldn't be in the NBA. He then later went on to talk about how he's gotten better every single year to the point where he's now an NBA starter, and it's true, he is, and he's basically averaging 16 points per game right now, so he has gotten better. I mean, before he went down with the injury, he had a stretch where he was putting up 20 to 30 points almost on a nightly basis. But I think the people who have a problem with Austin Rivers have a problem with him because of the opportunities that he got earlier in his career when maybe he didn't necessarily deserve them. He was getting opportunities because, once again, he was the son of the coach, which got him opportunities that other players never would have gotten. I'm sure there are tons of players riding the end of benches in the G League or maybe even out of the NBA completely by now that could have thrived just like Austin Rivers is doing had they got as many chances as Austin Rivers got, but because they weren't the son of a coach, they never got those opportunities. So that's why I think some people have a problem with it, but me personally, I can't hate on the guy just because of the situation that he was born into. He didn't choose this. It's the life that he was given, and sure, it might not be fair, but that's just the way life is sometimes. I'm curious to know what you guys think about all of this though. Where do you think Kemba Walker is going to end up? Do you think the Blazers will trade CJ McCollum? What do you think about the NBA All-Star starters? Let me know all of that down in the comment section below, but now real quick, let's take a look at the games from last night. If the Cavs would have lost this one to the Magic, Magic after having a 20-point lead at halftime, they would have never heard the end of it. The fact that they let the Magic back into the game to the point when the final seconds where it looked like they were going to lose is still pretty bad though. Derrick Rose returned everything for Cavs yesterday. He had 9 points in 16 minutes off the bench, but yep, the Cavs almost lost. Shelvin Mack hit a go-ahead bucket with like 30 seconds left in the game to put the Magic up 1, but then the same Shelvin Mack was whistled for a foul on Isaiah Thomas. Thomas stepped to the stripe, nailed both free throws, and that's how this one ended. 104-103, the final score. Cleveland avoids a very nasty loss. After missing his last 7 games, I believe, James Harden returned for the Rockets against the Wolves. He only played in limited minutes and wasn't effective at all in the minutes he was given. Only 10 points on 3 of 15 shooting, not his best game by any means. But Eric Gordon picked up the slack off the bench, scoring 30 points, hitting 7 of his 13 3-point attempts to get the Rockets the 116-98 win over the Wolves. After being named to his first All-Star game, Joel Embiid showed why he was voted as an NBA All-Star starter with a dominant performance in the Sixers' 89-80 win over the Celtics in what could be a first-round matchup in the Eastern Conference playoffs, and it would be a very good first-round matchup if it does happen. Joel Embiid with 26 points, 16 rebounds, and 6 assists on the night, while Kyrie Irving missed this game with a sore shoulder for the Celtics. Lastly, the Blazers were able to beat the Pacers. Damian Lillard played like an all-star last night, so let's see if he actually gets selected to the all-star team this time. He had 26 points and 8 assists on the night, while Nurkic also played great with 19 points and 17 rebounds, and 100-86 was the final score. That wraps up all the action from last night. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to smack that like button and subscribe to the channel. Join the quest to 200K hashtag of a million year, and don't forget to go vote for the player of the day. Just remember though, the only players whose team won are eligible to win player of the day. And yesterday, you guys of course selected none other than Mr. Hassan Whiteside himself and his 27 points, 13 rebounds, and 6 blocks as your player of the day. Thank you once again for watching though, but I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace!